Alright guys, so now we're going to be looking at substitution and word problems. Okay, so this is going to be your second handout. And then there's practice questions underneath. So we're going to take a look at this question. Okay, the only difference that we're going to be doing with word problems is we actually have to come up with the equations. They are not given to us. So we need to take the information in this little paragraph and create equations. So, the school council is trying to determine where to hold the athletic banquet. The algebra ballroom charges an $800 flat fee. What I would do is grab a highlighter and highlight these. So an $800 flat fee and $60 per person. So the geometry hall charges a $1,000 flat fee and $55 per person. Which one should they choose? So we need to find the point of intersection to make an informed opinion. So first things first is we need to define two variables we're going to use for our equation. So we're going to have P be the number of people and C be the cost in dollars. So now we're going to create our equations. So if we look at the algebra ballroom up here, our cost is going to depend on it's $800 flat fee. Okay, so 800 plus $60 per person, and that would be our total cost. So C equals 800 plus 60p. So when we take a look at our geometry hall, we have to pay $1,000 right away, and then it's $55 per person. So we write the cost is equal to $1,000 plus $55 per person. And then we do what we've just practiced before this. We solve by substitution. So we take one of the equations and we substitute it in for one of our values. So if we look down here, we substituted the first equation into the second equation. So we have 800 plus 60p equals 1,000 plus 55p. So we now have to get the p on the same side. So to get rid of it on the one side, we need to minus 55p. Because 55p minus 55p is 0. And whatever we do to this side, we also have to do to this side. So we minus 55p from this side, which gives us 800 plus 5p, because 60 minus 55 is 5, equals 1,000. So we now want to isolate p and get it by itself. So we have to get rid of the 800 from this side. So 800 minus 800 is 0, so it crosses out. And whatever we do to this side, we now have to do to this side. So we have to minus 800 from this side. So we get 5p equals 200, because 1,000 minus 800 is 200. And so we now want to get p alone. So because it's multiplied by 5 here, so 5p is multiplied, we now have to divide. So we divide both sides by 5, which leaves us with p equals 40. So we now have to sub our information we just found into whatever equation you want. So we chose the C equals 800 plus 60. Okay, so whatever equation from up here you want to put it into. So let's sub the 40 into our P spot. So we get C equals 800 plus 60p substituted in. We get C equals 800 plus 60 times 40. And this comes in, like our bed mass comes in here. So multiplication happens first. So we do C equals 800 plus 2,400, because 60 times 40 is 2,400. Then you add these two together, creating a total cost of $3,200. So if 40 people, what does this mean? It means that if 40 people come, the cost at both banquet halls will be this much. So if we have more than 40 people, they should go with the geometry hall, because if we look up, the geometry hall is $1,000 flat and cheaper per person, whereas the algebra ballroom is $800 flat but is more per person. So if they equal the same at 40 people, and we're going to have more than 40, we want to go with the geometry hall because it's cheaper per person. If we have less than 40, though, we want to go with the other room. Okay, guys, so what we're going to do here is we're going to do a bit of a trickier substitution question, and then we're going to get into our word problem question, okay? So the first thing we're going to look at is this one right here. Is this one right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our step 1, and we are going to, I'm going to use colors again. Our step 1, and we're going to plug one equation into the other one, okay? So we're going to plug it into x equals -2 brackets. We're going to plug this equation into the y, 4x minus 5, okay? So then what we need to do is FOIL it out. So when this is in front, it means that we have to multiply this whole thing by this number, okay? So we are going to multiply it in there, and we'll multiply it like that. Okay, so both of them have to be multiplied. So we get x equals 2 times 4 is 8. So 8x, I'm just going to erase that. And, sorry, it's -8. And -2 times -5 is +10. Okay? So we now have our x on 2 different sides. So what we're going to need to do is, oh, I forgot the +8. I forgot the +8 on both sides. Okay? So what we need to do is we're going to do, so x equals -8x, and we're going to do this one here. So 10 plus 8 is 18. Okay, and now we want to get x on both sides. So what are we going to do to get it on both sides? We're going to +8 on the one side and +8 on the other side because it's -8. So that gets rid of it on this side, which leaves us with 8x plus 1x. So 8x plus 1x is 9x, right? And then we'll write the rest of the equation out. So 9x equals 18. So again, when it is in front of the x, it means that it is multiplied by x. So we have to divide by 9, and we're dividing both sides because whatever you do to the one side, you also have to do to the other side. So this leaves us with x by itself, and 18 divided by 9 is 2. Okay, so now we go and we sub, I'm just going to resub our x value back into the equation, okay? So we're going to take our x value, which is 2, and we're going to plug it back into whatever equation we want to plug it into. So I'm going to plug it into this one, so y, this one. So y equals 4, plug the 2 into the x, minus 5. So then we're going to end up with y equals 8 minus 5. And then 8 minus 5 is 3. So our y's are 3. So our point of intersection is 2, 3. Okay? So now we're going to get into the word equations. Now we're going to do a whiteboard example because I think it helps a little bit to see it more or less in person. So we're going to go to slide down to your practice question number 2. Okay, you can try it on your own first if you'd like, but we're going to go through it here. So, Mrs. McAllister wants to have a clown deliver balloons to her secretary's office. Clown R Fun charges $1.25 per balloon and $16 for delivery. So highlight the $1.25 and highlight the $16. Singing Balloon charges $3, highlight, per balloon and $2 for delivery. Which company should she go with? Use the point of intersection to give specific advice. So what we need to do is we need to figure out what our values are going to be first of all. So we're going to let C equal the cost. Okay? And then we're going to let B equal the number of balloons. I can't spell, that's fine. So we're going to create equations, okay? So that our step 1 is to create our equation. I can't spell, that's why I don't teach English. Okay, so from our equation, I'm going to do this. No, I'm going to stick with black. So we have singing clowns is our first one, okay? So we're going to put singing clowns. That's how I'm just going to do it. So our cost for singing clowns is going to depend on our $1.25 per balloon. So that's what they charge us, $1.25 per balloon. With a $16 fee no matter what. Okay, so that is our first part. And then we have our, where is it? Singing clowns. I didn't put singing clowns. Singing balloons. I'm really good at this. And then we have our clowns are fun. Clowns are fun. So the equation is our cost is going to depend on, it's a $3 per balloon plus a $2 delivery fee. Okay? So we now have our 2 equations, and what we're going to do is now step 2 is plug one of our equations into the other one. So let's go $1.25b plus 16 equals 3b plus 2. Okay, and then we got to do the mathing to figure out what b is. So we're going to bring this 3 over to the other side because we want the b's together. Okay, so we need the variable together. So 125b, and to bring this over, because it's a positive here, we need to minus 3b from this side, which makes us minus 3b from this side. So we minus 3b from that side. And then we finish the rest of the equation. Because this is now crossed out, it is plus 16 equals 2. And then when we do this part here, you can get a calculator, that's totally fine. We get negative 175b plus 16 equals 2. Okay, so that's what we're at so far. So now we have to get rid of this 16 from this side because we want b alone. Okay, so we have to minus 16 from this side, 16 from this side, which gives us, I'm going to get a bigger whiteboard, negative $1.75b equals, so 2 minus 16 gives us negative 14. Okay, so I'm going to continue this over here. Oh, Lord me. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're now going to divide both sides by $1.75 or $1.75. I keep saying $1.75 because we need to get b alone. Okay, really far away. We need to get b alone. So to get b alone, we have to divide this side by 175 because it's the number in front, which means we have to divide this side by 175. But don't forget the negative, okay? So when we divide both sides by negative 175, this leaves us with b by itself, but it also gives us, because it's a negative divided by a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So this gives us 8 when you do the mathing on your calculator. So what this means is we now have to go in, so step 3, and plug our 8 into one of the equations. So again, doesn't matter which one, but I would probably suggest plugging it into the one that has the whole. There's a decimal in this one. There's no decimal in this one. So I'd probably plug it into that one. Me, anyways. So we're going to do c equals 3, and we're going to plug b in there. So 8, plus 2. All right, and 3 times 8, 24. And 24 plus 2 is 26. So our point of intersection, I had to back that up for a second, is 8.26. So what this means, I think I actually did that one backwards. Nope, I didn't. 8.26. So what this means is when she orders 8 balloons from either option, it's going to cost her $26. Okay, so if she's going to be ordering, we're going to go back to over here, I guess our equation, so I'm going to read it over here. So Clowns Are Fun is charging $1.25 per balloon and $16 delivery. So the delivery doesn't change. So if she's going to be ordering more than 8 balloons, she wants to go with the cheaper option per balloon. So she would go with the the Clowns Are Fun balloons. If she's ordering less than 8, you're going to want to go with the singing balloons because it is cheaper for delivery that way. Does that make sense to you guys? I'm hoping so. It is a little bit messy, I understand, but I'm hoping the explanation helps a little bit.